The UK could only fight Russia for 2 months, according to the country's deputy chief of the defense staff, while Germany could last just 2 days due to a critical shortage of ammunition. This comes at a time when the global geopolitical situation is the most volatile it has been in over 3 decades. Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Israel's conflict with Palestine, and growing tensions as China eyes Taiwan. In response, Europe is shifting its focus toward rearmament, preparing for potential war, and reversing a decades-long decline in military strength. But how did Europe's military power deteriorate to this point? Why are 11 European countries investing in the F-35? And why do most European nations use the same 155mm artillery shell? The answers might not be what you expect. During the Cold War, NATO and the Soviet Union were bracing for an all-out conflict, leading to the creation of massive armies with cutting-edge military technology. When the Cold War ended without a shot being fired in Europe, countries were left with vast stockpiles of weapons and equipment. With no immediate threat, defense spending plummeted, and replacing old gear wasn't a priority. Fast forward over 30 years, and Europe now finds itself with outdated equipment and dangerously low ammunition reserves. Much of Europe's ammunition stockpile has been funneled to Ukraine, depleting reserves at home. One critical area is artillery shells. Most European nations use the NATO standard 155mm artillery shell, but they've become alarmingly scarce since Russia's invasion. Before 2022, Europe produced just 230,000 shells per year. In 2023, that number increased to 400,000. And by the end of 2024, production is expected to hit 1 million rounds annually, with projections of 2 million by 2025-2026. However, most of these shells are heading straight to Ukraine under the Act in Support of Ammunition Production Program, ASAP. The widespread use of 155mm shells isn't a coincidence. If NATO's Article 5 is triggered, meaning an attack on one member is considered an attack on all, European militaries would have to fight as a unified force. Standardizing equipment ensures seamless logistics, allowing supplies from one nation to be used by another. For example, the 5.56mm round fired from the British L-85A3 is the same as the one used by the French FAMAS and German G-36 rifles. Beyond ammunition, Europe is also standardizing its air power, and the F-35 is at the center of this transformation. As of 2024, 11 European nations have ordered 600 F-35 Lightning II fighter jets, including 10 NATO members and Switzerland. Switzerland's decision to purchase 36 F-35s for $6.25 billion despite its neutral stance is particularly interesting. The adoption of the F-35 streamlines maintenance, enhances interoperability, and provides redundancy if losses mount. Europe's renewed focus on air power is largely due to Russia's advancements in hypersonic missiles, which strike too quickly for traditional defenses. By acquiring stealth aircraft capable of carrying cruise missiles, Europe is gaining a similar strike capability without waiting years to develop its own hypersonic arsenal. Though work on that front is also underway. The UK has pledged $1.26 billion to develop a domestic hypersonic missile aiming for deployment by 2030. The European Defence Fund, EDF, has allocated $1.2 billion for joint EU and NATO long-range fire capabilities, focusing on hypersonic weapons and drone defense. Additionally, Norway and Germany are collaborating on the 3SM Turfing, an anti-ship hypersonic missile set for completion by 2035. Securing supply lines has also become a priority. New land corridors, or ground lines of communication, have been established to expedite troop movements from naval ports to the Eastern Front. Currently, military forces must operate within the legal framework of their host nation, creating bureaucratic obstacles that delay deployment. These corridors aim to eliminate red tape and get troops to the front lines as fast as possible. NATO and European allies have also ramped up the frequency and scale of joint military exercises. One key drill is Steadfast Defender, a multinational training operation that began in 2021. Its primary goal is the rapid deployment of soldiers and equipment to conflict zones. Steadfast Defender 2024 was the largest military exercise in Europe since the Cold War, involving 90,000 personnel from all 32 NATO countries, 50 naval vessels, 80 aircraft, and 1,100 combat vehicles. Given the immense costs of modern warfare, European nations are dividing military responsibilities among themselves. Norway specializes in Arctic warfare training, Estonia is a leader in cybersecurity, and other nations focus on airfields, refueling, or specific combat strategies. Despite these efforts, NATO is currently only capable of defending about 5% of its airspace, leading to a push for a multi-layered air defense network. Germany is spearheading the European Sky Shield initiative, which aims to develop a long-range air defense system against ballistic missiles, incorporating American Patriot and French SAMPAS T batteries. No discussion of European defense would be complete without addressing nuclear weapons. Currently, the UK and France are the only European nations with their own nuclear arsenals, possessing 225 and 290 warheads, respectively. However, the US maintains around 100 B-61 tactical nukes across the Netherlands, Germany, Italy, and Turkey. These weapons, designed to be dropped from aircraft, could be deployed by Europe's new F-35s with US approval. Russia, however, still holds the world's largest nuclear arsenal, boasting over 4,000 warheads. In response, Poland has requested that U.S. tactical nukes be stationed on its soil as a deterrent, following reports that Russia has moved nuclear warheads into Belarus and its Kaliningrad exclave. This request remains under discussion, as such a move would provoke serious retaliation from Russia. Whether nuclear weapons are back on the table or whether the war in Ukraine will spread westward remains to be seen. Diplomatic relations between Europe and Russia continue to deteriorate, and there's no sign of an end to the conflict. NATO's rapid rearmament is an attempt at deterrence, but at the very least, it ensures Europe will be far more prepared if war does come.